All right, Kim, we're starting out with some crumbled up cornbread. I made the cornbread in a 9 by 11 inch rectangular Pyrex dish, and all I did was I cut it up into really small chunks, and then I just broke it up. You can use your fingers and break it up, but you want it really small. And I let the cornbread get real done too when I cooked it, so it would be able to absorb new liquid or moisture. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually cheat a little bit and use stovetop turkey, and I also have a stovetop chicken, and so they come in a package that's got stuffing mix and seasoning, and you're just going to add that. So you can see that it already has some seasoning in there. And what I did was I broke mine up with my hands before I opened the packages. So I'm just using one of each. My bowl is going to get pretty full. The next thing that I'm going to do is add just a little bit of garlic. And I'm going to put the camera down for a second while I do that. So I'm going to add 1 large clove of garlic because I didn't cook my chicken with the garlic. So I'm going to add it now. Okay, so I added the garlic and I mixed all of the dry items together there. And now I'm going to take some cream of mushroom and also some cream of chicken. And I'm going to add it in there. I'm just going to dump it if it'll come out. Okay. So I leave just a tiny bit in there because I can use it to help flavor the gravy that I make to go on top. And the same with the cream of chicken. So I just leave a little bit in there and I'll put it in a container so that I can use it to help with the gravy. If I see that I need more cream of chicken or cream of mushroom, I'll just open some more and add it to the dressing. Okay, so I'm going to stir this around some, and I'm going to add some fresh pepper to it. I don't want to add any salt right now because the salt is going to come from the broth of the chicken when I take it out of the oven. So I'm just going to add a lot of pepper because I like pepper. And I'm going to give this a good mix and I'll be right back. Okay, so my chicken is actually done now. So I went ahead and took that out of the oven. You don't have to cook it so done like you're going to just eat it by itself because my husband actually likes his really done. But you want it to cook so that you have enough broth. So I had added just a little bit of water in the bottom of the dish, some washed and clean drumsticks, and I seasoned it with seasoning salt, lemon pepper. I cut up bell pepper, onion, and celery on top because you need that bell pepper, onion, and celery inside of your dressing along with this broth. So baking it actually will make your broth more flavorful to me than boiling your chicken on the stove. Plus, you don't have to sit and watch it. So just be careful that your dish is large enough that your broth has enough room. So I got really close to making a mess, but that's the chicken. So here's the dressing so far that I have. I mixed up the cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, added the black pepper, and now I'm going to start adding some of the broth so that it can loosen up and be easier to stir around. And then after that, I'm going to probably debone my chicken once it cools down some. So I'm going to add some broth and get to mixing, see where we go from there. Okay. All right, we are back. I have deboned the chicken after I poured all the broth and celery, bell pepper, and onion mix onto my dressing. I also reserved a little bit of the good broth that the chicken baked in. You could also use turkey legs if you wanted to instead of chicken. The turkey legs, I would use a package of 2, and I have not baked those before. I've just boiled those with the same seasonings. And then with your chicken, you can take whatever little pieces are still left on the bone and add it to your broth your little bit of reserve cream of chicken and cream of mushroom to help make your gravy. And so now that my dressing has the deboned chicken on top, I'm going to add some additional chicken stock. I chose unsalted because, again, it may be enough seasoning from the seasoning of the chicken. These are some other seasonings that I'm going to add. I'm going to add some ground sage, and you want to be really careful with that and just put a little bit, stir, 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 and taste before you continue to add. And I also will add some parsley flakes. So those are normally the only 2 additional seasonings that I need when I use the stovetop stuffing mix. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour some cooking stock onto what we have. So you want it to be a little bit liquidy, but not too liquidy. But you want it to be a little liquidy so that you can actually mix it together. So I have to put the phone down again so that I can mix it and make sure it's the right consistency. Okay, let's see the consistency. I don't know if you can tell or not the consistency. I hope so. You want it a little bit wet, but not too terribly wet. And then when you put it in your container, you can put just a itty bitty pinch of broth on top. And just so you know, I used almost this entire container of broth. There's maybe a half a cup left in here. So you just gotta use it and then be careful with it a little bit, stir a little bit, and go from there. I did add a few cracks of pink Himalayan sea salt, just a little bit, because it just needed a tinge of salt. And then for my mom, I'm gonna put just a teensy winch of sugar, because she puts sugar on everything. So just a little bit. And then the last thing that you want to do is put a beaten egg in there and mix it up real good so that it will bind. Some people may use more than 1 egg, but I'm only going to use 1 egg. I'm going to give that a really, really good mix. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it in the Pyrex dish that I'm going to bake it in on tomorrow and put just a little bit of reserve liquid on top. Okay, dear. Talk to you soon. Bye, Kim.